once, say it twice. This is the Cutting Edge Review, and I am your reviewer, and I'm going to be reviewing, drum roll please, Indiana Jones, the classic Harrison Ford movies. And I'm going to be running down every single movie, even the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, even though you guys don't like that one. Probably a lot of you don't like that one, but anyways, you probably want to forget that one, but let's go into the review. Okay, we're reviewing Raiders of the Lost Ark. It talks about the adventures of archaeologist Indiana Jones, played by Harrison Ford. Back in 1982, we didn't have a whole lot of, just not a whole lot of movies in the market that really like were, that were epic, that were just like timeless or anything like that. We had maybe Aliens, we had Friday the 13th, we had Halloween and all that stuff. You had the easy music, easy listening era going on around that time. And what happened was George Lucas and Steven Spielberg got together. I don't know how many years in the making it was, but they ended up creating just probably one of the greatest movies ever created of all time, the classic Indiana Jones movies. And we're going to talk about Raiders of the Lost Ark first, starring Harrison Ford. And the movie talks about a archaeologist, Indiana Jones. He works in a university as a professor, and the year is 1938. And what happens is he ends up stumbling by just using all discoveries are made by accident. And what happens, he ends up stumbling upon the Ark of the Covenant. If you guys know anything about the Bible, those of you who know about the Bible, pardon me about that. It's something that the presence of God, and what happens in the Bible, it talks about how if you saw it, because this is what the Bible documents, that if you're pure and holy, you're definitely not going to be able to see God. That's why we can't see God to begin with, And anyways, that's what the premise of the movie. Just from the very beginning, that opening scene where Indiana Jones is running from a giant-looking ball in Ecuador, I think it was. That was just amazing. Like, I remember being a little kid seeing that, I was just like, what is that? And I was like, that looked really cool. And then, so he ends up running into the Nazis, and then the Nazis want to take over the world by using the Ark of the Covenant. Only they don't know what's going to happen to them at the end of the movie. So there's a lot of iconic scenes on that movie. Like this, it's a movie made up of action meets adventure meets humor, directed by Steven Spielberg and George Lucas. These movies have been just like, these are the kind of movies you remember. There's a lot of movies out there that you could live without, you could do without. And these are the kind of movies this is the kind of movie, Raiders of the Lost Ark, that you could actually you could actually watch over and over again. And then, so what happens at the end of the movie, they try to do some kind of ritual that's recorded in the Bible, and then they open the Ark of the Covenant, and what happens after that, that presence comes out of it, and then they look, and then what happens, Indiana Jones and the girl, they turn away, and then the rest of the Nazi army is killed. And like I said, there's an age where there's movies are like there's not a whole lot of point to them or anything. This movie is just like probably one of the best movies ever made, and I'm not saying this because I'm nerd or anything like that, but these movies, like I said, I still like them to this day. If you guys don't have these, you guys got to get them. And okay, now I'm gonna do drum roll, please. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Okay, and in this movie, they kind of go a little bit further back to 1935 in Shanghai, where Indiana Jones is making an exchange. He has the supposed ashes of an emperor from China in the Ming Dynasty, and then that's kind of like this sets. Just that opening scene right there is just awesome, man. It gives you that feeling. You're like, it engages you. You know what I mean? You get into them. Not like I said, like the movies of today. You kind of visit the bathroom a whole lot. You kind of looking at your watch and wondering if it's going to be over yet. Or you kind of talk. You rather talk to the person next to your girlfriend or something like that. You know what I mean? Because the movies of today, like I said, they're forgettable. There's not a whole lot of good movies right now. In a era of reboots, this movie is definitely a head above the rest. And after that, the premise of the movie is that he goes to India and he goes to this strange village and meets this Gandhi. This Gandhi like dude who tells him to bring back to us. And what happens is he goes on this adventure with Kate Capshaw playing Willie Scott Cliff or something. And you guys remember that little Chinese kid from Goonies? Remember him? That little. You live with me. You live longer. Remember that little kid? Well, anyways, that's probably one of the few movies that he came on that I could actually recall. Anyways, he'd probably be around my age right now, actually. But anyways, they end up going to the village, and then they have to retrieve these 5 sacred stones, the Shankar stones, as they're called in the movie, and they end up going out to the Temple of Doom, which is like they're practicing a 100-year-old religion. They sacrifice different people, and they have little kids. They stole the village. These people, they stole their children, right? So what Indiana Jones ends up, at first he goes over there to retrieve the stones because he, just like any archaeologist, he wants to be the first one to discover it. And then, so after that, he ends up going to, he gets captured, and then of course, you guys know the rest. That movie, like I said, you kind of hear that George Lucas, Steven Spielberg, like, when a guy falls out of a cliff on that movie, you go, or something like that. I don't know if you guys remember those. If you guys could hear them also on Star Wars if you listen more closely. And that one scene where he's trapped on the bridge, and then the bridge falls off, and the alligators below, they have a little lunch, and stuff like that is just like priceless. I mean, I could definitely watch this. I still watch this movie to this day, And then the next movie is Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, and in that one, it kind of goes back to you get to see like Indiana Jones's origins, and he's actually Henry Jones Jr. And of course his father, played by the great Sean Connery, who plays his father, and then he ends up losing his wife because of he's looking for the Holy Grail, the cup of Jesus. And again, it kind of touches upon some type of theology. And what happens is Indiana Jones, it shows him when he's about 16 or 18 or something, 20, and young Indiana Jones is played by the late great River Phoenix. And what happens after that, he ends up fighting the same villain that he fights in the very beginning of the movie, and then of course he ends up going to Rome. I think it was Rome, Italy, and he stumbles upon the tombs of the three brothers that were sworn to protect the Holy Grail, the cup of Jesus, and then he meets this, don't know the name of the chick exactly, but she looks really awesome, good looking chick or whatever, really skinny on the skinny side, but but anyways, so and then after that he finds his father, and he ends up he ends up nearby Germany and Hungary. I think it's Hungary, or something. Anyways, and then after that he runs into the Nazis again, and then usually movies repeat themselves. They wanna go back to the elements that made they gave them memorable things, but this movie doesn't necessarily repeat itself. It kind of goes on an idea, but it goes in almost like a completely different direction, even though they're talking about theology again. Anyways, and then after that he goes that one scene that that where he's where he's fighting that guy, and then he gets his face into the tank, and then Sean Connery, and then the guy who plays Marcus Brody. Don't know the guy's name, but anyways, he's one of the characters of that movie that made it. He's a key character in that movie, and then of course after that they go to the temple, and then they find several people have already died. And that one part where he's like, he has to spell the name of God, which is Jehovah. As you guys know well, it's Jehovah spelled starts with a J, but in this movie, for some reason, it's I guess, or something. I don't know. Anyways, I don't know. I'm not George Lucas or Steven Spielberg. I guess I think when he did that, they didn't get the theology correct. But anyways, after that, he gets a cup, and then really crazy scene where the main bad guy, he drinks the cup, he drinks the wrong cup, but because he thinks that, okay, Jesus was the king, right? Jesus is the king, and then he drinks the cup and he turns it to this old man, and of course the hot chick is next to him when that happens, and then this movie, this was the last Indiana Jones movie, which we thought was going to be the last Indiana Jones movie, which leads me to Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Lost Crystal. This movie, my God, what do I got to say about this movie? This movie's a little bit anyway, kind of like a miss, if you want to call that. It starts in 1959, and you see those of us that like Indiana Jones, we don't want to see Indiana Jones actually go into the Cold War era. We want him to stay kind of like in the 1930s, or the 1920s even. We don't want to. We didn't. A lot of people didn't like this movie. Honestly, I enjoyed it, even though that that Shia LaBeouf plays his Henry Jones Jr., right, the third, and he plays this Mutt something. I don't know what the hell his name is on the movie exactly, but he kind of comes into the picture, and then I think that was one of the last attempts for Shia LaBeouf to have a movie career. And anyways, and you know what happened to him recently? He wears a paper bag over his head, saying, "I'm not famous anymore." And so after that, they kind of there's the direction of this movie is just like all over the place, and you can't really. I mean, the chick that plays the Russian girl, whatever her name is on that, I'm not familiar with her work anyway. Oh, by the way, that one chick from the first Raiders of the Lost Ark returns on this movie, and it kind of ignores like every other Indiana Jones movie, and that's what really, I didn't like that. That sucked, and that kind of stuff. It turns like that. That's happened with Terminator and other movies of the same genre. They do that. They kind of erase like what happened before, and then so what happens after that? They go to look get this little crystal skull, which is they make it look like it's going to be some kind of alien. That's what it looks like to me, aliens. But in the end, it turns out to be that they're not aliens. They're like interdimensional beings or something. And then I was just like, what the heck is this? I mean, they made it, like I said, they kind of gave you that notion there's going to be about aliens or something, and then after that, at the end of the movie, you see that really big, huge saucer. The temple becomes a saucer, and then the alien take off, and then at the end of the movie, Indiana Jones finally marries what's her face? I don't remember, but anyways, at the end, if you guys cut that part at the end where his little hat, his hat he wears on the movies. Shia LaBeouf pick it up, and then Indiana Jones grabs it or something, and there's talk of them doing another Indiana Jones movie, but there's not going to be Harrison Ford's probably not going to be back to do it, because what they're thinking about doing is kind of like a James Bond thing or the Batman. You know how they get every couple of years they get somebody to play a trilogy or something like that, and then they get hopefully they don't get George Clooney to play it or Val Kilmer. There's like I said, there's going to be another Indiana Jones movie. Hopefully, I think I think Harrison Ford play. I mean, he's gonna be on the new Star Wars movie for crying out loud. I think he could get in a pretty good shape. Look, check out Liam Neeson on the Taken movies, man. Look at how old he is, man. He's still kicking some butt there, you know. So, um, these movies, for the exception of the King of the Crystal Skull, but I give King of the Crystal Skull, I give this movie like a 5 or something. It's not that bad. I mean, it's enjoyable. You can actually sit there and say, "Oh wait," but like I said, the premise of the movie is like just what's going on that movie? I have no idea because there's, like I say, it goes in all these different directions. But the first 3 movies, I give those my rating. This is my rating. Anyway, this is my rating. I give it a drum roll, please. I give it awesome. Awesome. All right, you guys, Indiana Jones. Have you seen it? You should see it. If you guys have any comments about what do you think is the best Indiana Jones movie, let me know. Comment up below. All right, this is the Cutting Edge Review, and I have a review.